Um, Before I get into this um, subject matter, I want to explain that I'm not saying any of this because I expect anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm not fishing for compliments. Um, I mean, I'm the reason that my life is the way it is now, mostly through choices that I made, good or bad. And aside from that, um, there are a lot of people out there whose lives are a lot worse than mine. Um, I've been lucky in several ways. So, and you know, the reason I started this series was because, well, it was with the idea that someday if my son or his progeny or any other family members or friends wanted to know a little more about me, then, this is basically a recording of some of my personal history. Uh, but it's also a recording of the way that I feel right now. That will be history tomorrow, Um, so, uh, I just felt the urge to kind of walk you through what my life is like right now. Um, so, a typical weekday, I have to be at the day job at 7 a.m. I'm usually off of there about 3 p.m. Um, I really enjoy that job for the most part. For retail, it's a good job. Um, but my position is responsible, and um, it's a somewhat demanding job. So, and I'm 50 now, so I don't quite have the energy level that I used to have. So I tend to come home and take a nap if I can, for maybe an hour. Um, Sometimes I can't because I have to work two jobs to make ends meet and have enough left over for whatever surprises come up, whether it's the car or possibly a repair on the house, or even to be able to get mom or my son a nice birthday present. So anyway, so at least 2 or 3 weeknights a week I have to head out to the second job, which is part-time. Um, it's not a bad job. I actually enjoy the work somewhat. It doesn't pay nearly as well as the day job. But it's flexible. It works around my schedule, and I've actually been working two jobs now since 2012. I would give up the second job if I could. Um, and but I can't right now unless I were to sit down and try really hard to find something that would pay me well enough to be able to quit these two jobs. And I don't know for sure that I can even find anything like that right now, even though, I mean, I have a good work experience, a good work record, but it's, well, you know, I've been doing retail for so long at this point that my experience in other fields has a big gap. So, but anyway, there are possibilities even with the day job right now. So, anyway, no need to dwell on that. So, I'll typically get home anywhere from 8 to 10 from the second job. This is probably Tuesday through Thursday. Although sometimes I have to do Mondays or Fridays in there. I usually get the weekends off, although sometimes during busy season with the second job, I might have to work one or both of those days. But, so Monday through Friday, I get up and go to the day job. And then probably Tuesday through Thursday, I go to the other job as well. So that keeps me pretty busy. Then I try on Friday night or Saturday night or Saturday to go spend some time with my mom out in the country. I try to spend some time with my son when I can, and when he has time. He's pretty busy with what he's doing right now. And well, on the weekends, when I don't have to work, aside from possibly going out to mom's, for at least the last year, I've been pretty much just vegetating. I'll sleep and sleep, sometimes because the week has been really exhausting. Part of it's probably some depression. I think the cold weather doesn't help with that any, because I've actually been doing a little better with that since the weather started getting nice. But I don't have any friends here that I hang out with on a regular basis. I have a handful that I might be able to hang out with rarely. My life is pretty boring at this point. I have been in such a depression for the last year, plus working too much and any number of excuses, but I haven't really been taking care of my house, so it needs a lot of work. I've recently started on it a little bit, but it feels like such a monstrous task by myself that it's really daunting to me to even try to start. It feels like, I'm trying to scoop out a boat that's filled with water with a teaspoon, So, and I end up trying to numb myself as much as I can to the fact that I'm lonely. And I'm not just lonely from being single, I'm lonely from not having a best friend, not having anyone really who I could spend a lot of time with. I'm just not that close to most people, either, geographically or just in general. And again, that's largely something that I've done to myself, although I have had a couple of friends move away that I did used to be really close to. So I haven't found anyone to fill the gaps, and I don't really know how. I'm friendly with people at work. I doubt seriously that any of them has a clue just how overwhelming my depression is outside of work, but of course always underlying everything, because the day job, at least, I really enjoy my work. I'm pretty good at it, and so I get a sense of satisfaction from it and some fulfillment, and of course it gives me stability. So at work I'm fairly upbeat and cheerful, and I don't talk a whole lot about just how pathetic my life is. Maybe in a joking way sometimes to my best work friend, but I don't really want to go around letting most people know just how pathetic my life is. It's embarrassing, to be honest, and I just I don't feel like most people would really understand, because my life is so radically different from 98% of the people that I know. They're either the people at work, especially, I'd say 80% of them are young enough to be my kids, and most of the rest are pretty close to that. And the ones who are closer to my age are married with kids, and the college kids, they're still young and full of life and enjoying life, and they're going to go on and get married and have kids and have so-called normal lives. And there's no one else around here like me that I'm aware of. So I'm fairly isolated. I don't feel like I'm completely alone. I do have some family that cares about me, a handful of friends, but I don't have anyone at this point in my life. Not a single solitary person other than my mom, who I feel, who I'm actually close to. And what will I do when she's gone? You know, I have my son, but we're not super, super close. And, you know, he's young. He has to live his own life, do his own thing. I can't expect him to be spending all his time trying to keep mom from being lonely. And I don't see, I mean, the only possibilities, the only hopeful possibilities for myself that I see at this point would be if I were to take the time and effort to try to find a better job that paid enough that I could actually do something that might make me happy. Like travel to the UK and Europe, maybe even move there. I don't know. Because honest to God, do not believe that there is any chance whatsoever that I will find a life partner of any kind. And I'm not saying that. I cannot emphasize enough how much I'm not trying to say that as a ploy for sympathy. You know, there are lots of people who end up alone. You know, it's a certain percentage of the population. And I just happen to have ended up in that population. Maybe I was born into it. I don't know. Maybe the unique combination of my DNA was just too unique, and for whatever, you know, thousandth of a fraction of a percentage of people in the world are actually could have been a match for me. You know, they could all be on the other side of the planet. I mean, so it's just what is. And I've been trying really hard for the last year or so to try to reach an acceptance of this fact, what I believe to be a fact, that I will never find a romantic partner. It just happens to some people, and maybe all the other people out there with the same fate have the same kinds of reasons. They're too different. They're not compatible with the vast majority of the population. They've made strange and possibly foolish life choices. Whatever the reasons are, I've been grieving for my singleness for a long time now, and I'm still struggling with reaching the acceptance level of grief. And wow, that sounds melodramatic. I'm just trying to learn how to live alone and not be completely miserable about it.